What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and more Birthright coverage as we have a little sample battle for you guys today just to show you how some of these mechanics and things will actually work. So we're going to show you here just an invading goblin force. They certainly outnumber us, and it's probably not going to go too well for the humans here on whatever realm we're representing. But so we have one unit of elite infantry. If we can get them in against some quality opponents, we can at least chew through some of the goblins. Unit of pikes, which will help us with those wolf riders, but we're kind of out of position. The goblins have the wolf riders, archers, skirmishers, and then infantry, which is going to be good at dealing with our pikes. So it's not looking good for us. And the goblins as well will, in this case, have the first move. So they're going to be try to be careful here and not get caught versus some of these units. But they also want to contribute missile attacks. So they're going to do, actually they're going to come over here because they have the move for that. And essentially they're just going to move up in a wave here. So the Anawirans will move as well. We're going to try and maybe punch through the center here. Probably won't work as well. Now the goblins will get, we're going to engage. Goblins will get a sort of last stand shot here versus us, which could already put us on the back foot. So our archers here, just to show you, missile attack versus mounted units. So we don't have any, so that's at least something. But they have a missile of 3 versus our defense of 4, and where they both happen to be flags. So it's a -1, which in this case is nothing. So we have to draw until we get a result. And here they actually caused a hit because we are the defender in this instance because it was their closing fire. So coming back here to show you guys. So we're already down a little bit. So that will happen there. So from there, so then we would simulate this one. So they have their closing shot here as well. So missile 2 versus defense 3, both flags again. So still -1, nothing. We got to draw another card until we essentially get a result, which is also nothing. Oops. And there. So the defending unit also takes a hit, which is very bad news for our pikes. So kind of just representing that here. Again, very just basic stuff here. We're not getting into any of the big nuances of this. So now we're going to engage and see if we can do something. So we still have melee 3 versus their defense 2. So we're going to flip over a card, and we're both flags still. So we're actually at +1, and if we can get that to focus properly. So they take a hit, and we've routed them, which is great. So they will move back. So we're at least doing a little bit of work there. Our pikes versus the skirmishers, we're down to melee 2, and they're defense of 1. So we'll flip over another card. We're still at +1, so that's good for us. Nothing on this card. Bummer. We did inflict a hit on them. That's great. But we are engaged. So we have that. So subsequent turn here. And actually we would have to try and rally the archers here at the end of this turn. So their morale is only a sword. And from that, so they've retreated. They have nothing that's blocking their path. And then they will essentially move into the reserve and then try and do a morale check. But for our purposes here, we're going to consider them essentially out of the fight, because realistically we're not even going to survive this. The Wolf Riders are free to charge, so they're going to attempt that because they're one away. We're still engaged here, and the infantry of the goblins is going to come in to assist with that, essentially. They could fire into their friends if they want, but for this, we're going to try and engage here. So we have that. So, and then they're going to obviously fight here. So, but to represent this one, just to show you guys, so our charge on the goblins is 4. The defense here, at least, is 4 for our elite infantry unit still. But here we have swords versus flag. So 4 versus 4 is a 0. Nothing on this card. So then we're going to recycle the cards we've already drawn. So again, swords versus flag, plus 0 here, or just straight up 0. So the defenders will take a hit. So things are looking very grim here for our elite infantry. They're going to fight back. We're just going to resolve that. So melee is down to 2. Goblins are defense of 3, but now it's flag versus sword. Oops. Let me get the cards flipped over. Flag versus sword, and again, we are -1 on this, so no result there. Flag versus sword, -1. So we actually did inflict a hit on the goblins. So that will potentially still help us. Here, the infantry the goblin infantry, they get a bonus versus pikes and irregulars, so that melee is going to bump up to 3, which is solid. Gives them a better shot here. So shield versus flag, and we're looking at 0. Shield versus flag, 0 is a hit. So our pikes, which have already taken a hit previously, are now essentially destroyed. So down they go. So dead. And that means that the goblin skirmishers don't have to fight or do anything there. As we said, things are very grim for our beleaguered Annuarians here. So we go to new turn here. Again, we're going to ignore the route and all that stuff. We're just trying to simulate some basic things for you. But now the benefit here of this is we want to move. We could be vicious and kind of shoot into our own units, but we want to essentially block off retreat paths as much as possible. Actually, we'll move here because we can't move diagonal. So we're going to try and get behind these guys. We don't have enough forces to really box the Annuarian infantry in if we were trying to attempt that, but they're also on their last legs here. Alrighty guys, so we're back here and we're going to show here what is likely going to be the last turn here of this little skirmish, but we have the Wolf Riders still fighting the Annuarian infantry, and we'll see if maybe the infantry can at least go down swinging and take the Wolf Riders out as well. So the Wolf Riders, sword versus flag, it's going to be a -2 because it's still high defense for the Annuarians, but in this case, they actually do inflict a hit. The Annuarian infantry will die, but they do still have their own melee of 2 versus the Goblin Wolf Riders defense of 3. Here we are flag versus sword though, and so looking at -1 results, nothing there. Next card, -1, so they do put a hit on the defenders. So they'll essentially kill each other, but the goblins will still take the field. Now, obviously, very unbalanced battle, but this could be something where, a little goblin force is attacking a lightly defended province. You did manage to take out the Wolf Riders and essentially put some damage on the archers. We could even say that the archers also died versus the pikes, but here, just to, again, quickly simulate something. So yeah, you put some damage on the goblins. It's not hard to kill them, but again, quantity-wise, often you're going to be outnumbered. And even with the eliteness of that Annuarian unit there, having that damage on early really did hurt them. And again, as soon as you can at least land a damage, you can then drastically increase your chances, even with lesser quality units. So again, a quick, dirty look here at a battle. Again, we'll have a much more in-depth one for you guys here in just a little bit, but again, just a quick intro to how some of the mechanics would work here and how that can play out. So again, battles don't necessarily need to take long, and usually they don't. There's going to be results one way or the other. And again, as units take damage, it progressively gets easier and easier for damage to apply, and eventually units will either rout or destroy or other things. And again, we didn't get into any magic or anything else yet for this, so this is just some typical combatants here, goblins versus humans. So leave us a comment, guys. Let us know how some of your battles have gone and some things that you look forward to in these different battles using the war cards, or just any general questions that you have. We'll try our best to answer, but we'll, again, have plenty of other videos by the time you're seeing this, dealing with some of the aspects of fighting the war battles. So like and subscribe, drop those comments, guys, helps the channel, and we'll have more Birthright for you very, very soon. Take care.